The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
Why do some people in the name of love end up doing certain crazy things? Whether out of jealousy, because of a lie from their partner, or due to their explosive temper, many end up losing their minds and reacting in an uncontrolled manner. Also, anyone who thinks that these things do not happen among the rich and famous is completely wrong. Some may remember the drama played out by Solange Knowles, Beyoncé's sister, in 2014 inside a lift after a Met Gala after party. In the footage released, Solange punches and violently kicks Jay-Z, Beyoncé's husband. All of this happened whilst Beyoncé simply stood there and watched the unfolding scene. Rumors surged that the reason for the aggression was Jay-Z's infidelity. One of the theories was that Solange was angry because Jay-Z was flirting with Rachel Roy at the Met Gala after party. In 2016, on Beyoncé's album Lemonade, she mentioned some cheating in one of her songs, making references to someone she called Becky with the good hair. This raised many speculations as to whether that was Rachel. Another eyebrow-raising incident happened between actor Orlando Bloom and singer Justin Bieber. In 2014, Orlando Bloom was spotted allegedly throwing a punch at Justin Bieber as they left a restaurant in Ibiza, according to eyewitnesses. The presumed reason was because Justin had partied with and got too close to Miranda Kerr, who was at the time Orlando's wife. What triggers such strong reactions from a person in a relationship? Is it right to blame a partner or someone else for the explosive actions some have in awkward or difficult situations? This is what we shall find out on tonight's program.
Very well. Has this ever happened to you? Maybe not because of betrayal, cheating, but a certain degree it happened to you, breaking something in your house, storming out of a party. Has this ever happened to you? I'd like to know, you who are married, or you who had a past relationship, maybe you broke up because of something that happened and it drove you crazy. Let's go for this street interview. We'll be right back.
Have you or anyone you know ever lost your mind and acted bizarrely or explosively in your relationship?
I have known people who've had suffered mental health and how they manage their mental health within a relationship, and it can be very challenging.
I heard about things like that, but it didn't happen in my life, and I don't know anyone.
I can't think of any examples of friends or that kind of thing. It's all generally kind of been respectful and healthy, I would say.
When you don't have a very good relationship with your self-esteem, that kind of tends to get in the way of your relationships that you have with other people, whether it be friends or with an actual romantic relationship. So I think just when you don't really have such a good hold on your self-esteem, you tend to overthink and maybe doubt the people that you're friends with. So yeah, that is what ended up happening.
I'd say it's people tend to get quite lost in themselves and get a lot of anxiety and a lot of sort of worry when they perhaps don't know the status of their relationship.
I think when people are in love, they didn't know how to act, I don't know. They just start acting crazy and they didn't see their true colours.
In your opinion, if your partner does something wrong, is it justified to lose your temper and act rashly?
I think there's always a certain level-headedness that you should have, no matter how someone else treats you or what you're going through. I think just as long as you do it when you're in the right state of mind, that is justifiable.
No, you can just talk to him or talk to her normally and tell her, I don't like this or I don't like this. Communication.
I think there is no justification because we the violence is never justified. So people shouldn't be violent no matter what. They should control emotions, I think.
I don't think it's ever right to act too rashly in a relationship with a partner or anything, but I mean, I can't speak too much from experience. Yeah, I'd say obviously it's never right to act rashly or irrationally.
If it's particularly impulsive or that kind of thing, it might be, probably the end of the relationship, I guess.
It's easy to pass judgment with people who act unusually. Yeah, so I think through my own experience of knowing people that suffer mental health, sometimes you don't always understand their behaviour. Personally, it can be very upsetting, and you can feel angry when people behave in a certain way, and you don't want to be understanding because you feel like it's hurtful. But if you take a step back and you allow them that time to make their adjustments, that's a better outcome. I always look for a better outcome.
You drive me crazy. You know, this is something normal in the relationships. Something normal. Because of our differences, sometimes we get on each other's nerves. And it's common that this will happen. But tonight we're going to give you some advice in what to do to address these differences between men and women. Okay? For example, in my case, I remember something that would drive my wife crazy was the way that I would drive. And I enjoyed speeding. I like to speed for some reason. And my wife was always afraid of speed. And the more I would speed, sometimes she would, because she was afraid, she would speak a little bit louder with me. Please stop what you're doing. And that would not make me feel good, the way she was talking to me. And instead of stopping or slowing down, what would I do? Because I knew we were in an argument, I would speed even more because I wanted to reach the destination faster. And you can imagine, she would speak a little bit louder. I would speed even more. She would be even more afraid and speak a little bit more louder, and things would escalate. It was a problem. But because of our differences, you know, because of the feelings involved, it would escalate. I wouldn't understand what she was trying to communicate, and she was not understanding why I was behaving that way. These differences between man and woman. And of course, I don't know of something that I can say here that I don't know on her part. Maybe she has a story. Maybe one day she's going to share this, her part of the story on this case. But let's go for the advice. What should you do in cases like this? When there's an argument, when you are getting on each other's nerves, the differences between you and your partner, what to do about this? Number one, focus on what is important. Focus on what is important. So whenever you are in a situation like this, what is important? The most important thing is to solve the problem. You want to solve the problem. You don't want to create a new problem, because when you behave irrationally, when you let your emotions, take the best out of you, when you are led by anger, when you do something crazy, you are making problems worse. You are creating more problems. You're breaking things. You are screaming. You are making an offense. You are hurting the person. So instead of solving the problem, which is what you want, you are creating a bigger one. You are destroying something in the house that later on you're going to have to pay for it. And you have to know there's going to be consequences. So the best thing you do is to calm down and focus in what is important. What is important? Important is for me to solve this problem. So I'm going to calm down and solve this problem. And focus in one thing. These, especially women tend to bring all these subjects all together. You women tend to remember everything at once. We men, we like to talk about one topic, one thing at once. But women, you start to bring a lot of things all together. Nothing wrong with that. That's how we work. Our brain are different. I'm just giving an advice here. But you have to be careful, because when you bring a lot of things, you are taking the attention out of the problem you want to solve. So number one, focus in what is important. Focus in solving the problem. Slow down, calm down, take a deep breath, and focus in solving the problem. Leave all the things that don't matter for later. They can wait. Leave for later. Sometimes you want to solve one problem, a big problem, and you bring all this stuff. But you left a little paper here on the floor, but you left the wet towel on the bed. You also did this. You are taking the attention out of the main problem you want to solve. Okay? So number two, be careful with how you speak. Be careful with how you speak. You know, they say that more than 90% of what you say is not the words you say, is the way you say it. The choice of words, your body language, the feelings that you put in saying those things. This is what's going to make the difference. So, if you want to communicate something, but you are screaming at your partner, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Immediately they're going to get on the defense. If you are trying to communicate something and you are hurting the person, you are offending the person, you are using harsh words, you are making them feel bad, you're pushing them down, guess what? It's not going to work. It's going to have the opposite effect, because they're going to get on the defensive. They're not going to change their heart. They're going to get on the defensive, and they're going to attack you back. They're going to come at you the same way you're coming against them. They're going to hurt you as well. They're going to call, he or she is going to call you names. Is going to bring stuff from the past. They're going to start attacking. Oh, but you also do this, this, and that. It's going to become a mess. So the way you say it is very important. Be careful how you say it. You know, I remember a story that I heard that a woman, she was married, and her husband, they had a front yard, beautiful front yard, grass, the lawn, and her husband never wanted to mow the lawn, to cut the grass. He didn't want to do that. He was very lazy when it comes to, mowing the lawn, cutting the grass. And she would talk to him harshly. You are lazy. You are good for nothing. Look at our front yard. All the neighbors, their houses look pretty, their gardens, and you can't even do that. And so on and so forth. And the more she would come harsh on him, the more he would resist. The more he would say, I don't care what they think. They don't pay my bills. I do whenever I want. I don't feel like doing it. And this, and that. The more she would attack him, the harder he would become. The harder he would be. And she didn't know what to do anymore until she learned this. Until she started to be intelligent, to use the right words, the right way, to communicate, to solve the problem, to focus in what was important. And she learned how to speak to him, how to say these things, And one day she told him, look, one day she didn't say anything. She didn't go after him. she let him be. First of all, she let him be comfortable. She didn't charge, she didn't go after him. No, she let him do whenever he wanted to do. And one day, a beautiful day, he was there cutting the grass, mowing the lawn. He was there. And what happened? When he came back, she told him, look, I love the way that you look when you're cutting the grass. You all sweaty. Your shirt, is all sweaty. And I can see your muscles. And when I look at you, they were married, so no problem. What she said, oh, you look so sexy, and this and that. She started saying these things. And for her surprise, the husband, he received the praise. So you can imagine how he felt. Look how she changed the way she was talking to him. And he was very proud of himself. He said, really? She said, yes, I can see your muscles and you are there. You look so masculine. I just want to hug you and this and that. So guess what? That man started to cut the grass, not every week, twice a week, because he wanted to receive the compliments, the praise of his wife. So everyone wants to be respected. Everyone wants to be treated well. Everyone, there is a way to communicate what you want to communicate, okay? Don't behave irrationally. Don't scream. Don't make offenses. Don't hurt. No, use intelligence, okay? Learn how to speak. Be careful how you speak. Let's go for the third advice. Do not attack. Encourage reflection. This is what we are saying here. Don't attack. It's never the way. Attack is never the way. Encourage reflection. Make the person see your point, where you're coming from, what are you trying to communicate, and you go from there, okay? You have never seen a fight. You have never seen an argument. You have never seen two people screaming at each other, and they come to a point that they stop suddenly, and they say, oh, you know what? You're right. I'm going to stop right here. I am wrong, and you are right. No one ever. This has never happened in the history of the world. Things only escalate. Things only get worse and worse because fighting is never the answer.
The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.